Alrighty folks, it's 3 o'clock on the button, so on Saturday I'm going to go over the A minor pentatonic on the whole fretboard and do a few things with it within a 15-minute span. This will help you be a better player if you don't already do this. And it's not about speed. I don't have speed, so I worked on focusing on getting the notes, the scales, the modes all under my fingers so I can go anywhere on the fretboard and play that particular thing that I'm after with full confidence. Okay? So we're going to do A minor pentatonic. You have an A, a C, a D, an E, and a G. That's it. And your any minor pentatonic is also a major pentatonic. A minor pentatonic is C major. If you go A to A, yeah, A minor. But if you start and do the same notes, start with the C note, C major. Every pentatonic, every minor pentatonic you play is also a major from a key. So if you did G minor, it's B, the baby finger note here on the low E is B flat major. Alright, back to the A minor so I don't waste any more time. So that's got an A, C, D, and an E. So we're going to start with the E. That's another thing. If I was going to play A minor pentatonic with some people, jamming with them, and they were playing, let's just say, some basic thing that, or it could be a lot of things. It could be, we won't go there. But don't have to start, my point being, you don't have to start with the A note to play A minor pentatonic. I could start with the E note. You know, you don't have to be on the A to play A minor pentatonic. Then my point being, because we're going to start at the lowest point and go to the highest. And so we will start with the open E, because there is an E note in the A minor pentatonic. And then right in this block you'll have, so again, you're playing A minor pentatonic, doesn't mean at all that you got to start with an A note. You can just play out of any one of the blocks of it. You know, they're all over the place. And with any one of them notes, that's an A minor. Which, and just use the notes that are from A minor. You know, if that's what you... Alternate pick. Go get it so you can play up and down all 6 strings, starting at the open E. And you get to where you can play it consistently, go back up and down it 10 times with even timing-ish. You can use a click or a drum beat or whatever, but I just play it by ear, kind of try to keep it even. You know, do it slow when you start now at the G note, it's this. And this one is starting here, and you should get to where you can play it without looking too. You don't have to hurry with getting there, get them under your belt, but then you'll get them down when you can play them without looking, and you can go up and down them evenly, you know what I mean, without looking or you know, without struggling. Like if you got some parts of it where you can play it well, but then parts where you go, you know what I mean? Then you don't have it down yet until you... And then the next one up is starting with the C note. Watch your fingers I'm using. I'm watching the clock. then the next one up, that would be called the first blocks because you're starting with the root. This one's the second, starting with the major key it's from. All right, so the third one up is an awkward one you got to step over. When you solo, you don't have to do that, but you want finger independence. You can pack, you know, those kind of things, but we're talking about getting them under your belt, developing all 4 fingers, and doing them in this way. It's the most efficient way to play it. Well, come on, play it. Then this one here is the same as the one we started with. Now you can play any one of them blocks. I used to do this and play the open string. That kind of thing, so it sounds like a riff, okay? So there's those, and here's the last one before we get back to it. This one's the same as this one. And then this one's the same as this one, all right? So that's actually, for A minor pentatonic, this is block 4. And then this is block 5. Start with the G, because it's, and now it's block 1. Block 1 meaning, with no matter what key you're doing it in, is you're starting with the root note of the pentatonic that you're talking about. In this case, we're doing A. So that'd be block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, just meaning the note. That's all. Note number 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so when you get them down, then work to where you go up them like this. All right. And what I did was, when I moved up to the next block, I placed the fingers the same way you would if you would have started. Like, say here, for example. That one, when you play it from here to here, there's a baby finger. So when you do it here, you got to switch that finger to this one and go down it with the correct one in either one. Make sure you're using the correct fingers. Because they're the most efficient fingers in the way I'm using them, so you don't have to move your hand, you know, no matter what block you play. If I start with this finger here, I'm screwed because there's 2 notes to be played over here, and now I've got this finger taking up space over here when I need this one available for those, you know what I mean? And every block there's that reason. You know, starting here at the C with the middle finger. You start with this one, then you can do that when you solo and everything, use whatever fingers you want. But to learn them and get them under your belt, learn them using this finger. See how the hand just right up and down, I don't have to move it or same with this. All right, and then, so when you got them down, you know, I used to do what's called a 6 count and a 5 count. You know, 3 count and a 4 count. I gotta keep it under 15 minutes. count with all of them. It's string to string, like in other words, and then go back to the B string and start there. Then the G, and then so on. Then the 5 count, you got, I'll do it at the basic box so you're very familiar with. 5 count. Alright, so I'm going down 5, and I'm economy picking, which means down, up, down, up, down, and then that's 5 notes. And then I'm starting the next 5 count with a down. Or you can alternate it all. Whichever you're the most comfortable with. Maybe do it either with both. And do that with all the blocks. I just limited on time. And then another 5 count. And again, you can start with either this note or that note. There's no, just whatever one you start with. When you're doing a 5 count, do 5 notes and so on. You know, you don't have to start with the C note. You can... either side, okay? So, on the other one is note to note, which means... I'm going to the back to the second note I played every time. 5 notes down, back to the second note I played. In this case would be the A, you know, because I started with that C. And then there's a 3 count. Those kind of things. Now, you're not necessarily going to play like that at all when you create solos and phrasing, but by doing all these different things, you're going to hear what that is. You know, you might take a piece of it and use it in a phrase, and you'll have the physical capability. Plus, when you learn these, you're going to hear what they sound like, you know. Then you start creating based on, because it all comes down to what you hear, you know. And as you learn these and you do these different counts and all that, then there's tons of other things, but I got to stop at 1/4 after. I also would do pull-off one. I haven't done these in forever. Whatever. But then after a while, I'll have to do a part 2 because there's so much more with these, you know. But then that's how you get, this is all for creativity, getting these inside of you so whatever you play is coming from the inside out. Not like learning someone else's stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's from the outside in. You're learning it, but you're not feeling it like they did when they created their riffs. You know what I mean? That's how they got theirs, was from the inside out. Whoever, Ace Frehley, Jimmy Page, you name them. So I'll do a part 2 after this later. The phone's ringing, I think it's my sister. All right, so I'll do a part 2.